Gonzalo Lira's sordid saga, marked by a grotesque metamorphosis from red-pill dating coach to Kremlin echo chamber, culminated tragically in his detainment and eventual demise in a Ukrainian prison. His foray into the heart of geopolitical tumult and his subsequent parroting of pro-Russian propaganda not only represented a stark moral nosedive, but also signaled the perils of digital era's echo chambers. Arrested by the Ukrainian security service for his incendiary and misleading rhetoric, Lira's tale is a chilling testament to the consequences of ideological fanaticism run amok. Lira's narrative, replete with the hallmarks of a Dostoevskian parable, was not merely a descent into ideological depravity, but a mirror to the absurdities of our time. He who professed to disseminate truth instead proliferated falsehoods, not with the clumsy hand of a novice but with the zeal of a convert. The irony of his end, dying in ignominy in a Ukrainian prison cell, seems almost a poetic justice, a fitting denouement to a life mired in moral turpitude. Yet the true tragedy of Gonzalo Lira lies not in his personal failings but in what he represents, the corrosion of discourse in an age where information is abundant, yet wisdom is scarce. Lira's embrace of despotism, dressed up in the garb of anti-establishment rhetoric, was nothing more than the ramblings of a man who lost his moral compass, if indeed he ever possessed one. In this era where the lines between fact and fiction, news and propaganda, are increasingly blurred, Lira emerges not as a unique villain but as a symptom of a broader malaise. His story serves as a cautionary tale, a stark reminder of the perils of intellectual hubris and the ease with which one can be co-opted by forces far more sinister than they realize. In the aftermath of Lira's demise, his death has been unscrupulously co-opted by certain opportunistic elements, seeking to further their own agendas under the guise of justice and truth-seeking. Notably, the Russian state and figures like Tucker Carlson have exploited Lira's tragic end, weaving a narrative designed to serve their respective propagandistic ends. The Kremlin, ever eager to cast aspersions on Ukrainian legitimacy and morality, has found in Lira's death a convenient tool to malign the Ukrainian state, insinuating cruelty and lawlessness. Similarly, Tucker Carlson, with his penchant for sensationalism and controversy, has latched onto this narrative, using it to stoke the fires of his own ideological battles. This posthumous puppeteering of Lira, a macabre dance with his memory, serves not the cause of truth, but the machinations of those who would twist reality to their own ends. Lira, in death as in life, becomes a symbol manipulated by forces beyond his control, a testament to the ongoing information warfare that characterizes our current geopolitical landscape. Thus, while some might urge a modicum of sympathy for Lira, or a reflective pause on the milieu that fostered him, such overtures do a disservice to the gravity of his transgressions. In an epoch inundated with disinformation, Lira's saga is not a mere footnote, but a glaring beacon of the hazards of intellectual debasement. His journey into the abyss of moral and factual bankruptcy was not a hapless tumble, but a deliberate stride, fueled by either a willful blindness or a reprehensible complicity with autocratic narratives. To attribute his descent merely to the convolutions of our era is to absolve him of the agency he exercised in his propagation of falsehoods. In the end, Lira's tale is less about the perils of misinformation and more a testament to the pernicious allure of ideological extremism. It is a stark reminder of the ease with which one can be seduced by the siren song of authoritarianism, especially when it masquerades as anti-establishment dissent. Lira's life, and the subsequent posthumous manipulation of his narrative, should not evoke sympathy or reflection, but a stringent re-evaluation of the criteria by which we judge the purveyors of information. The lesson here is not the inevitability of such figures in our complex media landscape, but the imperative to relentlessly challenge and expose them. Only through such vigilance can we aspire to a discourse grounded not in sensationalism or simplicity, but in the unyielding pursuit of truth.